Hi everyone, I decided to do this from the park and there's some cars that are going to drive by, so excuse the noises, but it is just too beautiful to be inside right now. I am hopping on. I'm Katie Hamilton, holistic nutritionist and health and transformation coach, and I am here to share with you 12 reasons to drink celery juice and how it can support your health. Celery juice is something that came into my life about 5 years ago before it became really popular, and it absolutely helped me heal many different ailments and dis-eases in the body, in my body. And it was one of many different things that I incorporated into my daily routine. And it's been unbelievable. Every single client that I share this with is just like, wow, I am blown away. First of all, celery is an herb, not a vegetable. And when we juice celery, it is very different than eating the celery. So juicing the celery helps to release the cluster salts and also that are very unique to celery itself. And also there's a potency when we juice it. And it's that specific potency that goes in and starts to heal all different systems in our body. And it begins by healing the digestive system. So let me get into the 12 reasons why it would be highly beneficial to introduce celery juice into your daily routine. And then I'll tell you how to do it, okay? So the first reason is that it lowers inflammation. So inflammation is actually, a lot of people talk about anti-inflammatory diets and inflammation being a problem, but do we know and understand what's causing the inflammation? Two things causes inflammation in the body. The first thing is like a blunt force trauma, an acute trauma that will create inflammation. The second thing is unproductive bacteria and viruses. So the bacteria and viruses that are negative to our health, that harm us, they are the thing that creates the inflammation. And it's actually not the food itself that creates the inflammation. The food feeds the bacteria and the viruses, and it's what the bacteria and viruses poop out or eliminate that then creates the inflammation. So celery, the cluster salts in celery and celery juice itself kills bacteria and viruses. Therefore, it is helping with the root cause of healing our inflammation. The second one is that it supports weight loss. So mystery weight gain and excess weight that we're holding on to, a lot of it is actually created by a burdened liver. When our liver is burdened and sluggish and just cannot deal with the amount of toxic load that's exposed to, it's under, we're not eating a diet high in a lot of nutrients, so it's also void of key nutrients that it needs. The liver starts to pump out toxic blood, and these toxins are stored as fat. And so if we want to release excess fat tissue, we actually need to look at our liver. It's not as simple as what the industry will tell you, which is calories in, calories out, which is why I'm sure some of you have experienced this, where you just work out and not starve your body, but decrease the amount of food you're eating and you're still not losing the weight. Well, if you're not eating a specific diet that is supporting your liver and you don't understand how to support your liver, or that that's even the root cause, then you will continue to put on weight, or your body will hold on to the weight, even though you're exercising every day and eating what you call healthy. I love that. So a lot of people come to me, and I would say like 99% of my clients will come and they'll be like, I eat a pretty healthy diet. And I look at their food journal, everyone's eating such a different idea of what healthy is. So, again, knowledge is power, especially when we put it into place. And so the celery juice goes in and actually starts to detoxify and supports the cleaning up of your liver, so that when your liver can work at an optimal rate and detoxify and keep up with the amount of toxins that your body's exposed to, your body will start to shed the weight. So celery juice, absolutely, it helped me. So I was on a diet high in protein, high in fat, because that's what my own industry told me to do to heal my so-called autoimmune disease. Again, I'll get a little bit into that today as well. And I had symptoms. I had extreme chronic fatigue. I could only teach 1 hour of fitness. So I teach movement. I'm mainly a health coach and transformation coach so far, much more than just nutrition, working with people's well-being mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And movement's a big part of that. So I've always been into movement. And I could only teach an hour a day. It was so bad. And there was about 10 years of that. So my entire 20s I was quite unwell. And I was doing everything that I was told to do. You're low in iron, eat more meat, eat more red meat. Well, the very thing that the liver does not want more of is more fats, especially saturated fats from animals, when it's trying to clean and heal itself. So celery juice went in. I definitely decreased the amount of animal protein in my body, increased the amount of fruits and vegetables, specifically did celery juice, and the weight came off so quickly because I wasn't starving myself. I was actually flooding my body with so many nutrients that it started to glow and become healthier and healthier and healthier and healthier. And what was happening was the toxic load in my body was being cleaned up. The efficiency of my liver was quickening so that it could actually stay on top of what was in my body. And it wasn't just cleaning today's chemicals that we're all exposed to. It was cleaning up yesterday's and what was passed down through my mom to me. Because that's also how it goes. We pass down not just the good, but also the chemicals and the pathogens to our children. So the other thing that's celery juice, so number 3, it aids in digestion. Digestion is so important when we're looking at cleaning up symptoms in the body. So when the digestive system starts to break down, we start to see symptoms in the body, okay? Your digestive system and the hydrochloric acids specifically in your stomach are not just responsible for breaking down fats and proteins, it's also responsible for being the first line of defense. It's the first line of immunity in your body because it's discriminating against what pathogens should be coming in and not, what are beneficial and what are not. So when we have low hydrochloric acid, and as many of us have been told we have 1, we don't, we have 7 different hydrochloric acids in our stomach. And they start to, the cells that produce them start to become damaged because of the increase in strep bacteria or E. coli living in the stomach. We notice a lot of bloating, and we also notice other symptoms because we're not breaking the food down efficiently, therefore we're not extracting the nutrients from it, and the body thrives and survives on these nutrients, okay? So, someone's watching me. This is what happens when you do it in the park. Right, so celery juice, this is fascinating. Celery juice, the cluster salts in celery juice are the foundational building blocks for your hydrochloric acid, specifically from celery. And you can't get it from Himalayan sea salt. You don't get it from salted anything. You get it specifically from celery. Just like the calcium in sesame seeds is very different than the calcium in dairy. The calcium in dairy is acidifying. It actually wears down our bones. It really challenges breast tissue and it contributes to a lot of disease. Whereas the calcium in, say, sesame seeds is the calcium the body is looking for, and that's the healthy calcium. So just because we say one thing like salt, not everything salt is good or bad. It's actually, it's a deeper conversation, just like the conversation around sugar. Not all sugar is bad. Every cell in your body runs on glucose. Glucose from fruit is good. Sugar from processed foods, not so good. So they both have different impacts. We can't just umbrella things. And this is why I love educating, because the more educated we are, the more wise we are about our choices for health. Okay, so my sheets are blowing around, but I have really great notes here. So number 4 is about reducing bloating. So that goes along with increasing the power in your digestive system. So when it comes to bloating, we have undigested food particles hanging out in the base of your stomach and in your intestines, and it starts to putrefy and bloat. When you increase your hydrochloric acids in your stomach, you increase the power of your digestion. So you're no longer half digesting food, you're fully digesting the food, and that increased hydrochloric acid will go in and start to actually break down the food that's just sitting there and feeding unproductive bacteria. The other thing that celery juice will do is will clean up your liver, and as your liver starts to improve in health, your liver produces your bile, which is very important for breaking down fats, and it starts to increase. So your bile production increases, which is so important for your digestion, your proper digestion. And then the bile will go into the intestines and actually start to break down yesterday's fats and proteins that are just sitting there and putrefying. And unfortunately, they're also creating other problems. They're feeding the bacteria. They love feeding on undigested proteins and fats. Fifth, so many here. It helps you with healing eczema and psoriasis. This is such a challenge. When I see clients come to me and the sort of, doctors just straight up not understanding what's causing it, giving it a name, and then throwing steroid drugs on top of the skin to try to soothe the symptom. This is not at all solving the problem. When we're dealing with eczema and psoriasis, we are dealing with strep bacteria creating something called a dermatoxin. So when it eats the heavy metals and the pollutants that are in our body, the pesticides that's come on top of our strawberry, they poop out something. Well, there's 60 different strains. So one or two of the strains of strep bacteria, maybe more now, because they've mutated, they poop out something called, or eliminate something called a dermatoxin. And that dermatoxin travels through the lymphatic system, and sometimes it just decides to attack around our face, limps around our neck, and so that's where we get, I've jumped ahead to the acne, psoriasis. So the psoriasis essentially is breaking out all over the body because these toxins are traveling through the lymphatic system. Now, celery juice is incredible. It doesn't just stop at your stomach. It will go into your lymphatic system, especially if you do this consistently. I've been doing it for 5 years. It's incredible. I tried to take myself off of it when I moved to Hawaii. I was like, I'm good. I sold my 2000 Angel juicer, which is the best juicer you can get to cold press your juice. And I was like, I'm fine. And I went to Hawaii and I was like, my body's like, no, you don't get to stop this. This is like an anti-aging. This is all of us humans live in a toxic world now. It's just support that you need for the rest of your life. It really is. And so with the eczema, it starts to kill the bacteria, the strep that creates the eczema and psoriasis. And it starts to clean out your liver where the copper is hanging out. And so eczema and psoriasis is created when a certain bacteria, strep, eats a certain heavy metal, copper. Sixth benefit, it increases your immune system. The blood cells, I learned this, I was just fascinated. The blood cells, the white blood cells in your body absorb the cluster salts unique to celery, and they use it not just as a defense, but as an offense mechanism to go and kill, because when the bacteria comes in contact, it's poison, it's toxic to the pathogens in your body. So isn't that fascinating, the way Mother Nature works? The things that are good for us are toxic to the things that are bad for us. The things that are bad for us, like heavy metals, are actually good for pathogens. They eat heavy metals and poop out something way more toxic. So it's really, really fascinating. 7, it actually helps prevent, drinking celery juice helps prevent and heal urinary tract infections. I have had countless clients come to me with urinary tract infections and many different reproductive issues. And celery juice will go in and clean the whole system out, because strep is the cause of UTIs. And so it will go in, and every day you drink this, continue to break down the strep colonies, kill them, clean out their cells because they're poison when they die, and just detoxify and cleanse your urinary tract. So that's pretty amazing. Acne. So this is fascinating. Oh, there's so much to share. Healing acne. Acne is not created and not cause. The root cause of acne is not your hormones. Is that a shocker? That might be a shocker because that's what we've been told. Acne is not caused by your hormones. Your reproductive hormones does not cause acne. Your reproductive hormones, when you hit puberty, increase and change, and the bacteria that's living in you, which is why not all of us experience cystic acne, the bacteria in you, so if you were born and given and passed down in your bloodline some strep bacteria, they love your reproductive hormones. They also love junk food. And what happens around puberty? We start to increase the amount of junk food that goes in our body. After school snacks, parents aren't around, go get the slushie, go get the candy, go get, right? We increase and we start to decrease probably a lot of the good nutrition. So when we're dealing with healing acne, there's a reason that you can have acne in your 40s and 50s. It's not your reproductive hormones that are creating that are blamed on acne. It is the strep bacteria that, again, travels through your lymphatic system, eating up, like Pac-Man, all the chemicals and poisons moving through your lymphatic system, especially when your liver's overburdened. Your lymphatic system has to work even harder and move these toxins through your body. And so they just follow this river of toxins, eat like Pac-Man, and then they will poop stuff out. And if it happens around your face, you can get cystic acne or acne on your face. If it starts to happen and the lymph nodes around your chest fill up, then it can come on your chest. It also can happen on people's backs. So this is really important when we're dealing with healing acne. We do not want to take Accutane. We do not want to take more pharmaceuticals on our skin or in our body that's going to feed the cause. And that's what this is all about. This is my mission, is to continue to reveal and educate people on the true causes of our disease and ailments, because there's a lot of misinformation out there that is misleading people and leading them towards things that actually make things worse. So the 9th one is helping to prevent high blood pressure. High blood pressure. This is fascinating. When we understand how the body works, we can help it better. Your blood pressure, your heart, is very dependent on your liver health. Now here's why. Your liver detoxifies and purifies your blood, but when it's overburdened and sluggish and beaten down by years of not having enough positive nutrition in your body and years of having, processed foods, exposure to chemicals, toxins, heavy metals, you name it, your liver cannot do the very thing it was meant to do for you, which is to keep your blood clean. And also, a lot of people are walking around very dehydrated. I had a whole talk around dehydration. Watch it, it's fascinating. But your liver takes a hit, and guess what organ next takes a hit? Your liver pumps out thick, toxic blood, and the next place it goes is your heart. Yes, your heart is like a straw sipping up thick, toxic blood, and therefore the heart, which is a muscle, has to pump harder. When it has to pump harder and push thick, toxic blood throughout your whole system, guess what happens? Increased blood pressure. That's what causes it. When you heal your liver, you actually start to decrease high blood pressure. You don't need to go on medication. We need to understand the root cause. It also will prevent it. So doing celery juice isn't just about healing, it's also very preventative. You are constantly exposed to more and more toxins and pathogens because of the Industrial Revolution and because of the mutation of what once used to be benign bacteria and viruses in our body, now learned how to eat these very toxic things in our environment that 100 years ago we didn't have. And just like Mother Earth is challenged by it, we are a microcosm. She's the macrocosm, we're a microcosm, we're made of her, right? Our physical body is made of her substance, and she is polluted, and so are we. Her water is unbelievably polluted. Her rivers, her streams, her oceans, her lakes. Well, guess what? So is our blood, our rivers, our streams, our oceans. Okay, 10. Helps prevent ulcers, okay? So celery juice kills the bacteria that causes ulcers in the stomach. It will also not just prevent it, but it would actually help you heal if you have an ulcer. The 11th reason to drink celery juice is helps heal acid reflux. Acid reflux is caused by three things: low hydrochloric acid in your stomach, so poor digestion, which creates an increase of undigested food hanging out in the bottom of your stomach, which increase negative acids that then move back up the esophagus, creating a burning sensation. The second reason we have acid reflux is harmful bacteria hanging out in our stomach. Okay, strep and E. coli specifically. The third one is a weakened liver. Do you see a trend here? We start to get at the root, many symptoms all of a sudden clean up. Yes, it doesn't actually have to be that complicated. So weakened liver, when the liver is weakened, it doesn't create as much bile, indigestion happens, the bad acids start to increase, and they start to move up our stomach and back and burn up our esophagus and into our throat. The 12th reason is fights autoimmune disease. I will give a whole talk on this because autoimmune is a complete mislabel and mistruth that is being pumped into the collective consciousness. Your body is not attacking itself. Autoimmune disease, autoimmune anything that they've given a label for, they won't tell you the cause, except for they will blame your body, which is not the cause. We don't have millions and millions of humans walking around planet Earth all of a sudden in the last 50 years that have their own bodies turning on them. We do not have that. We have pathogens creating inflammation. The inflammation is creating symptoms that the medical society decided to claim and blame you. You are not to blame. You do not have a faulty body. There is nothing wrong with your body. It is screaming out. These symptoms are messengers. They are communication systems asking you to please listen, to please clean up your liver, please clean up your rivers, your blood, to do the reset, the nutritional resets that help to flood the body with more nutrients than you're used to eating in 2 weeks. This is how we heal autoimmune. I did it for myself. I've helped countless clients do it as well. And those are the 12 reasons to drink celery juice. I will give another talk on, oh wow, an airplane literally just almost hit my head. A kid's airplane. And so yeah, I will share more information about autoimmune because I know that this is a bit of a bomb to drop, that what you've been told isn't true, and there is a way out. There is a way out to heal yourself. Celery juice is the beginning. So here we go. How do you take celery juice? You're going to start your day on an empty stomach with 2 cups of celery juice. If you have a lot of symptoms and you suspect you're pretty toxic, you might want to start with 1 cup because it will work instantly. Give yourself some time to go to the bathroom. It literally works instantly and pulls stuff out of your body. And remember, eliminating in the bathroom is the #1 way that your body eliminates stuff from your body that you don't need, and it's not great. And over the years, intestines and colons have been like the undigested food particles, the pathogens, it starts to like cake on the side of the tissue, and it starts to narrow the passageway. So some people just don't eliminate properly at all. And this is going to start to pull that out of you. So give yourself some time after you take your celery juice. And then here's the key. Don't drink or eat for 20 minutes minimum. The potency of the celery juice needs to work, and it cannot be diluted by water or food. It just won't have the same effect. You can do up to 3 cups. I recommend starting with 1 and after a couple weeks going to 2, and if you want to go to 3. I've been doing 2 for the past 5 years. I went all the way and I started with 2 cups and it was wild. And things have changed since then, but I was much more toxic and I had a lot to eliminate. So yeah, if you have any questions about this at all, please type them in the chat box. I am running another nutrition reset, so I just finished one and the results were unbelievable. We had about 20 people and it was magnificent to see what happened in 14 days to people's body. So I'll be running another one in August. If you're interested in joining, reach out to me at KatieLauraHamilton@gmail.com. I'll leave my contact in the chat box below. And if you have any questions at all about your health or any of these different ailments or diseases or symptoms that I mentioned that you're like, I want to know more about that, let me know, because I'm here to educate and to inform and to support. And when we're looking at healing our body, which is why I'm not just a nutritionist, I'm always looking at the whole picture. So our health and our well-being is absolutely supported by different foundations. And one of the foundation is nutrition. And I'm speaking from my very own experience of going through crazy health issues where I didn't actually know how I was going to continue the way I was feeling. I really didn't feel like I was going to have a body into my 40s. And I turned that around, and now I'm healthier than I ever have been, and I continue to support my clients with this. So there is help out there for you. There are answers. There is always a cause. There is always a reason, and it's not our body. Our body never turns out on itself. Can I put celery in my Vitamix? Okay, so here's the deal with this. You can put it in your Vitamix, and you're gonna have to squeeze the juice out. So you're gonna have to get like a cheesecloth to squeeze it. Most of my clients say, I'll try that. And then about 2 weeks later, like, I'm just giving it and buying a juicer. And when I support people, they use their juicer a lot because I have some incredible juice combinations for liver health, for weight loss, for immunity. And the juicer in my home is actually used way more than the Vitamix. So yes, you can. However, it is way more labor intensive. You might have to use more celery, and I don't recommend using water to blend it because you're diluting it. So that's the only problem. So it will be better than nothing. So try it out. Let me know how that goes. Yeah, and enjoy your day. Oh my God, isn't summer just amazing? It's glorious. I love it so much. Enjoy the sun and enjoy great health, and eat up all those fruits and vegetables that are available right now to us. And I'm totally missing farmers markets. I can't even tell you. That was a highlight of summer in the city. COVID really threw a wrench in that one. But I'm looking into finding some of the farmers' numbers so that I can buy their food from them. What brand of juicer? So, great question. How about in the bottom of this, I post the juicer that I recommend for celery juice. So it's called the Omega juicer, and it's more of like a cold press. So instead of the centrifugal juicers, which can heat up the nutrients and actually break them down a little bit more than we want, those still work though. The best one is the one that is like a press, and it just presses the juice instead of spin and break up all the nutrients. So Omega has one for celery juice. If you look up Omega juicer for celery, you'll find one. But I'll also put a link below as well. Thanks for your questions, and thanks for watching now or in the future. And I wish you a beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Ciao.